In early 2026, the world watched as a dramatic event unfolded. U.S. forces conducted a military operation in Venezuela, capturing President Nicolás Maduro and his wife. They were then transported to the United States to face criminal charges. This unprecedented action, the removal of a sitting head of state by another country's military, has sent shockwaves across the globe, sparking intense debate and condemnation. The United States has defended the operation, framing it as a necessary law enforcement action, but internationally, the move has raised serious questions about sovereignty, legality, and the future of international relations. Two of the most vocal critics have been Russia and China, both of whom have strongly condemned the U.S. operation. At an emergency United Nations Security Council meeting, the world's major powers clashed. Russia's representative labeled the action a blatant violation of Venezuela's sovereignty and a breach of international law. The Russian Foreign Ministry publicly declared its support for Venezuela's interim leadership, calling external interference a modern form of neocolonialism. Alongside China, Russia demanded President Maduro's immediate release. However, despite the strong rhetoric, Russia's response has so far remained diplomatic. Experts suggest that Russia's ongoing military commitments elsewhere, like in Ukraine, and the logistical challenges of projecting power into Latin America, limit its ability to respond more forcefully. For now, their strategy seems focused on applying pressure through international forums. China's reaction has been equally forceful. Chinese diplomats accused the U.S. of acting like a world judge, overstepping its authority, and unlawfully interfering in another nation's internal affairs. Beijing's foreign ministry warned that such an action sets a dangerous precedent, one that could destabilize global order. At the same UN meeting, China reiterated that military action without clear UN authorization violates the very principles the United Nations was founded on. The official stance from Beijing is clear. No country should be able to place its domestic laws above established international norms. Disputes involving a head of state, they argue, must be handled through diplomacy and legal channels, not military force. But what's really driving these strong reactions from Moscow and Beijing? While both nations frame their criticism around principles of sovereignty and international law, there are deeper strategic interests at play. For Russia, Venezuela has long been a key geopolitical and energy partner. The country has been a foothold for Russian influence in a region historically dominated by the United States. Losing this ally is a significant setback for Russia's ambitions in the Western Hemisphere. The relationship goes beyond just politics. It includes military cooperation and energy deals, making the potential loss of a friendly government in Caracas a major strategic blow. For China, the stakes are primarily economic, but no less significant. Over the years, China has invested billions of dollars in Venezuela, particularly in its vast oil sector and infrastructure projects. Venezuela, in turn, has been a major supplier of crude oil to China. The instability caused by Maduro's capture puts these massive investments at risk and threatens the stability of a key energy supply line. Beyond the immediate financial concerns, China is also worried about its broader influence in Latin America, a region where it has been steadily growing its economic and diplomatic presence. Critics argue that while China champions the principle of non-intervention, its primary motivation here is to protect its significant economic interests and partnerships in the region. This entire episode has reignited a long-standing debate about the limits of unilateral military action. When is it justified for one country to intervene in another, especially when it involves removing its leader? International law experts are weighing in, many arguing that an operation of this scale, conducted without explicit authorization from the UN Security Council, challenges the core principles of the UN Charter. The idea of state sovereignty, that a nation has the right to govern itself without outside interferences, at the heart of this discussion. It's not just Russia and China who are concerned. Even some of America's traditional allies have expressed reservations. Several governments, particularly in Latin America, have called for restraint and a return to diplomatic solutions. Their message is that political and legal disputes within a country should not be resolved through foreign military force. The fear is that this action could create a new normal where powerful nations feel justified in taking similar actions against smaller ones, leading to a more chaotic and unpredictable world. So, as this situation continues to develop, we're left with a world holding its breath. The capture of Nicolás Maduro is more than just a single event. It's a flashpoint that exposes the deep cracks in the international system. The strong condemnation from Russia and China is a clear signal of the geopolitical fault lines. Their reactions are a mix of genuine concern for international law and a pragmatic defense of their own strategic interests. What happens next will be crucial. The legal proceedings against Maduro in the US will be watched closely, as will the diplomatic fallout at the United Nations and in capitals around the world. This incident forces us all to confront difficult questions about power, law, and the future of global order. Will this lead to a new era of interventionism, or will it spark a renewed commitment to diplomacy and international cooperation? The answers will shape our world for years to come. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis insightful, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future updates on this and other major global stories. We'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.